Spider-Man 2099 is lying about who he really is. Many people on the internet have been quick to point out their distrust in Miguel O'Hara. This is because people believe that there are holes in his story and that he is leaving something out about why disrupting canon events causes universes to end. I'd like to take this distrust one step further. I think Spider-Man 2099 is not Miguel O'Hara. I think he is someone else entirely. I just got back from rewatching Across the Spider-Verse with a mate of mine, and there are a few things I noticed in the movie that makes me think this is the case. The first thing that caught my attention while I was sitting in the cinema was something really simple. Miguel's cape. When I was watching his entrance scene in the movie, I noticed it, and it reminded me of a line that was said all the way back in the original Into the Spider-Verse, said by Peter B. Parker.
Take that off, it's disrespectful. Spider-Man doesn't wear a cape.
Now, for the sake of fun, I began wondering if Spider-Man 2099 actually isn't the real Miguel O'Hara, as I thought it would be pretty cool if this one line was a master hidden tease at the major plot twist that Miguel isn't who he says he is. At the beginning, this wasn't something I actually was convinced of, more of just something that I thought was fun to think about. But the more I watched the movie, the more I noticed things that convinced me I was right. The second line that really stood out to me in this film was from Miles himself. During the chase sequence of the movie when Miles and Miguel are on a train, Miles says the following, and I'm paraphrasing slightly because I don't have an eidetic memory. "You have claws? Are you sure you're even Spider-Man?" Now this second line is what convinced me that I may have stumbled onto something. As along with these two lines, I think it would actually really work from a narrative perspective for Spider-Man 2099 to be lying about who he is. A large chunk of this movie is dedicated towards Miguel telling Miles that he is a mistake and he isn't really Spider-Man, and Miles coming out with the courage to do his own thing and say yes, he is. I think it would be a really good twist if the whole time it was actually Spider-Man 2099 who wasn't the real Spider-Man. So because of all of this, I began brainstorming within the theater about who Spider-Man 2099 could actually be. And for a while, I was just satisfied with the idea of, oh, he's an evil twin, or a clone, or an alternate reality evil version, but I eventually had a brainwave. In this movie, Spider-Man 2099 heavily resembles a vampire, and once I remembered that, it all felt so obvious. I wholeheartedly believe that Spider-Man 2099 is actually Morlun. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Morlun, he is an inheritor, a vampiric being who feeds on the mystical energy of totems. Now, I'm not going to get into the convoluted mess that is totems. The important part is that the Spider-Men are totems, and Morlun feeds off them like a vampire, hunting them down and killing them to feed himself. And now, most notable to this theory, Morlun was the main villain of the comic book version of Spider-Verse. The whole reason for all those Spider-Men getting together was because of Morlun. In the movie, Spider-Man 2099 tells Miles that he wants to destroy the universe by disrupting its canon. He said he found a universe where the other version of himself was happy, and that version ended up dying. Spider-Man 2099 then replaces that version of himself and lives out his life, being happy for a while. However, unknowingly to him, this ended up eventually destroying that universe. I believe only a small part of this story is true. Now, at the end of Into the Spider-Verse, we are shown the first time Miguel O'Hara travels across dimensions. I believe that during his initial dimension jumpings, Miguel accidentally ran into Morlun. Morlun then killed him and replaced him. Furthermore, the redesign of Spider-Man 2099 in between movies is something that I actually think is an in-universe occurrence. I believe the reason for this redesign happening is because these two Spider-Men aren't actually the same person. Now again, from a narrative perspective, I think this really helps fit this stereotypical plot twist quite well, where a story that a character's told is only partially true, and they later on reveal the actual truth. Think of Omni-Man revealing his real backstory to Mark after years of telling him the fake one. Now yes, things like the claws, the cape, and Spider-Man 2099 biting people is something that is found in the comics, but I think that's the genius behind the plot twist. These aren't things that normally would seem out of place for Spider-Man 2099 to have. What is weird, however, is the fact that the movie subtly draws attention to these traits, specifically the cape comment in the first movie, and much more notably, Miles outright asking Miguel if he is sure he is Spider-Man with those claws. Notably though, this wasn't an accusation, just banter on Miles' part. Again, this is interesting because these are things that fans of Spider-Man wouldn't find unusual about Spider-Man 2099 in this movie. After all, they're in the comics. This is why I think these specific lines were chosen. These aspects of 2099 aren't unusual and can be easily overlooked. But if/when this plot twist does happen, rewatching this original film and noticing those lines is going to make so much more sense. And that's why I think those lines are here. It's just fun foreshadowing. But anyway guys, that's the theory I've come up with. I just wanted to put this on the internet quickly to share with others. Let me know what you guys think. TLDR, Spider-Man 2099 got me in the theater like